What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Derry, back with another video. But before we get into today's video, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody that supported, everybody that liked, everybody that shared, everybody that commented on the Weird Perspective podcast. Season 1 has officially come to an end. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't had the opportunity to listen to it, I'll drop the link in the description below. Check it out, man. Check it out. So thank you guys again for your love, for your support, even for the critiques, man. You know, I'm the type of person that I like to ask questions and how can I improve? How can I get better in this thing? And so thank you guys for all your feedback, man. We really appreciate it from myself and from Eddie. Moving forward, we'll be back in the fall with season 2. And this time we'll be coming with merch. We got some dope hats, some shirts, just different things that we working on that we hope that you guys like, man. It's a way to support the channel. Until then, you got me. I'll be doing videos weekly by myself, just giving you guys my take on different topics and different content, a lot of scriptures and Bible based things. So look forward to that. And also we have something that I'm calling off season. So obviously we're in an off season right now because the podcast is done for the moment until season 2 picks back up. But I'll be doing interviews, discussions, not just by myself or with Eddie, but also with friends, close friends, pastors, elders, deacons, community partners, street social activists, the whole nine. We're going to talk about it. And so stay tuned for those videos. Those are coming very soon. I think you guys are going to be blessed by them. And so without further ado, we're going to jump into today's video with me and my big bro, Donald Owens. What's up, bro?
What's going on, fam? What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I'm happy that I get a chance to share this screen and this time with you, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad we all get to see this Derry and not the Derry from high school with the back in the day Derry. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, man, you coming in, guns blazing. Dang. They ain't even got to properly introduce nobody. You already bringing up my past and stuff.
Oh, man, we gonna talk about that.
Oh, this gonna be a long episode, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so Donald and me met at church, and then he is the goddaughter. What's your goddaughter name, man? What's your goddaughter name?
Is it Tahiti? Is it Chocolate Drop?
Since you don't know her name, you got all of them, all 5 of them.
All of them.
Anything happen to you, anything happen to me, rather, they all going to your house. So they just go be there with a little bag of clothes. And
I'm shipping in all the weddings. I'm shipping in on all the weddings.
Hey, them income tax checks gonna be lit though.
Oh, I'm gonna learn this year.
Oh man, but yeah. So I wanted to have you on today, man, because I don't know if you know this or if I've ever shared this with you, but I've always looked up to you from afar, just like watching how you move. You are like one of the main examples I use when I talk about doing things in the right way, in the right order. Like, your life not chaotic. You see people like y'all waited to have kids. Like, y'all waited till y'all had the house, right? Y'all had degrees and stuff. Like, y'all did things the right way. Like, things was in order. You know what I'm saying? And so I always, when I think about decisions, I be like, man, what would Donald do? Like, Donald, okay. And so I've always admired that about you and your wife, man. You guys just do things like in the right way, man. And for a long time, I struggled in that area. And even sometimes, even as now, like I struggle with like, I be wanting to do things and I don't be making the right decisions sometimes. But you've always been that example to me, man. So I don't know if you ever knew that, but I just wanted to share that with you today.
I appreciate that. And I love how you said it. You know, me and Jordan do things the right way, because if you think about it, it's actually me and Jordan. She is my northern stop. Well, if it was just me, Whew. I would not be the prime example.
So introduce the world to who you are, man. Or I would say the world, like I'm all big and famous. But whoever's gonna watch this video, introduce them to who you are, man, and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I am by trade an educator. I am the new assistant principal of elementary school in CPS. The name will be, not shown, so I don't want to get written up or kidnapped. But I work for CPS. Yeah, let's go. But also, I also co-host a few different podcasts. The main one being the Golly Man Perspective. I still do. It's almost like a marriage parenting podcast with the eyesight of godly father, godly husband. I do that with my cousins, Terrence Wilson and Dre Howard. I am also a comedian in training. I recently graduated and did my first comedy show. I want to say maybe 3 weekends ago, and starting to prepare for another show, hopefully coming up in August. Or I just got to get out there and start putting my name out there. So I'm writing up some new materials and practicing the set that I did perform to get it a little bit better, get the timing right. But yeah, man. And also I am a real estate investor in training as well. I got some properties that I don't own, but I'm working with with my cousins and a mentor of mine from college, and just getting the information, getting my hands dirty, and trying to figure out how things work out, so that way when I do have the finances to get going, I don't have to make the same mistakes they made.
Wow, man, you just said a 2 hands full. And so we're gonna try to deep dive into some of these things, man. But that's a lot.
I need a nap.
He said, I need a nap. Yeah, that's a lot, dude, to be practicing. So, first and foremost, you're a husband, right?
I forgot about
that. That's every day. You can't even take that hat off ever. It's just as always on. It's just stuck right there. It's just like
that's the uniform part.
Husband, father of 4.
4 and 1 on the way. Yeah.
4 and 1. Was it 3 and 1 on the way or 4 and 1 on the way?
4 and 1 on the way. So
4. Oh, right.
Yep. So we have a teenager that we adopted, and then we have one that's baking in the oven.
Baking in the oven, man. So, is you done? You gonna have you gonna go for the football team, or you gonna stick with the starting 5 of the basketball team? What you doing?
Man, if another baby comes out of my wife, then we gotta have some marital counseling. I got a vasectomy, man. We done. It's cut. It's cut.
We gonna have to ask what if the Lord go come through like he did with Abraham and Sarah and be like, say one more. Oh man, but yeah, so married, 5 kids. Wow. So I got 5 kids, so I already know how that is. An adopted one. That's a blessing. Even just to be in a position to adopt and to pour into somebody's life, man, that's an amazing. And then you are an educator. You're an assistant principal. Tell us about that. How'd you get into that, and what's that like?
Oh man, that's like 13 years in the making, to be honest. I started off originally as a math tutor, because when I graduated from college, my GPA wasn't the best for the hiring freeze that was going on. So I graduated in 2008, and I had a 2.9 GPA. Not decent enough to graduate, but people weren't trying to give me any money to survive. So things happened. I took a side gig as a tutor because I enjoyed math and I enjoyed working with kids. And from there, I decided to, go into teaching full time. Went back to school for my master's, taught for another 8 years, and then went to the leadership thing. So I did 2 years in training as an admin at a high school, actually during the pandemic, which was crazy. And then, I applied for an assistant principal position, and, God allowed me to be accepted where I'm at right now. So this will be my first year as an AP, third year as an admin.
Wow. So that's a long time. Like, how much schooling did you have to do in order to qualify to be an assistant principal?
Well, a whole lot of schooling right there. After the initial 4 years of college, I would say I tacked on another 3.5, 4 years. One more year to become an actual teacher, to get my master's, and then some other courses and things to become eligible to be a CPS administrator.
Was that always the goal?
It was. I remember when I first got the tutoring position. I can't even say I was dating this young lady. I was just, I was trying to get in. And her mother had spoke to me and was like, what you trying to do with your life? And I was like, well, right now I just became a tutor for a school district. She said, a tutor? How much they pay? And I was like, man, you're coming at me kind of hard. What's wrong with you? So I concocted this whole thing like, yeah, I'm going to be a tutor at first, but 10, 12 years, I'm becoming a principal, have my own school. So, I planted the seed a long time ago. But what really had got me going was when I was doing a residency as a teacher in training. And I went to a principal whose school I was at. And I was like, hey, so, what is it that I need to do to get myself in the right positions to become a principal? Like, what do I need to learn and all that sort of stuff? And, I had my pen, my notebook, ready to get some golden nuggets, right? It was a black lady. And I'm like, thinking that she down for the cause, want to help her brother out. And her response was, baby, stay in your lane. So I was like, I'm going to show this trick. And I had a vendetta for 10 long years. And when I finally made it, I definitely wrote a whole bunch of emails to people thanking them for helping me out and get to where I am. Definitely made sure that she saw I was at this
I was going to say, did you pull up on her like?
Now what?
What lane you talking about?
I tried to do it as tasteful as possible. But in my mind, I was like, yeah, now what?
You just got to pull up and then you just give them the head nod like, you know who I am. And then just drive off.
Most definitely. But that was my drive to get me where I was, but it wasn't enough to keep. I was miserable my first few years as an administrator because the only reason that I wanted to get there was to show out, and to be like, I could do it, even without your help. Mm-hmm. So I had to realize that, I didn't want to perpetuate that same ignorance. And so now, I'm making it my goal to be the best resource possible for anybody who's striving to, for one, be the best teacher possible, and two, who wants to be in leadership. How can I best support them in doing it?
Yeah.
So that's why
I definitely, man, take my hat off to you, man. I'm proud of you. I remember them long hours of you just grinding, man, studying. I remember when you used
conversation we had, I would like go to sleep on you.
Man, you used to fall asleep on your boy, man. Just be like on the couch chilling, like, all right, we finna, kick it and chop it up. 2 minutes in, be like, yeah, so you know what I'm saying, bro? Then you be like, I'm like, yo, D. Oh, man, this man sleep, bro. I'm out of here. But I be doing, you were doing a lot, dude. Like, I remember you waking up at, what's that, 4 o'clock in the morning? Man, 4 o'clock in the morning, just watch you. I used to, for y'all who listening, I used to stay with Donald and his wife. And me and my family, we lived with them for a little bit. And then, but just watching him getting up every morning, getting them lesson plans ready.
For school, right.
Grade papers, doing all that stuff, man. It was a grind, but I definitely, I commend you for pushing through and keeping it moving. We definitely need a lot more strong men, especially black men. Don't leave CPS, man. They definitely need you. They lost a lot of good people. A lot of good people just was like, they either left CPS or they just left Chicago completely and was like, I'm gone, peace.
Yeah,
we're losing a lot of good dudes, a lot of good women as well. Just CPS got its own thing. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I want to let the people know a little bit about your background, your upbringing, man, the type of household you grew up in.
Okay. What you? So, I grew up in the Inglewood community. Well, it's called New Inglewood now. It
is. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. They call it New Inglewood. Near Gage Park High School. But I spent a lot of my time off of 55th and Carpenter and 67th and 55th and Aberdeen and 67th at Carpenter. Those were my grandparents stayed. So, we had aunts and uncles who used to live with them, and I used to always, spend the night over there and the holidays and go to school in the area and have to go home, walk through those neighborhoods and everything like that. But it was cool, man. I think because of the family that I had, such a large family and a large, dangerous family. Because my folks, boy, you knew not to mess with them. I had it easy. It was no issues. I didn't have any issues with the gangs. No issues with. I had a few fights here and there. Didn't win them all, or any of them, as a matter of fact.
Which is a big surprise. So Donald, what are you like 6'5", 6'6"?
6'3", about 350 pounds.
Look, man, even in them old pictures, like I wish I had that height in high school. Like
I was always the biggest dude. So God knew not to give me my height.
He knew not to give me height because it would have been a different. I don't know if I'd be here right now. I'd probably be doing like 25 to life or something.
Be New Jack City all over me. Tukey Williams up 0.2. Tukey Williams 0.2.
Tukey Williams. Yeah, I don't know.
But
if I
man, I was a lover, not a fighter. It was okay. I found Jesus early, so we ain't had those issues. But yeah, man, I was a well-liked kid, cool kid. Was never got into any trouble. Wasn't the smartest kid in the world, but I made it through.
Hey, hard work and dedication, man. That's all you need.
Yeah, most definitely.
And both parents in the household.
Most definitely, yeah. My father was a machinist. My mother was what you would call a clerk. But she did a lot of office work. Mother is extremely smart. Extremely smart. That's what I learned from my father. You got to marry somebody smart. Somebody help you take care of what you don't understand. That's what my mother was. She definitely was. She was the foundation of why I picked Jordan out of the plethora of ridiculousness I was getting myself into. I'm gonna put it all out there. I got a whole book.
I got a whole book. Hey man, when you come back with that book, bro, we're gonna market it right here, man.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing, man. 2-parent household. Not a lot of people, especially growing up in Inglewood or on the Southside period, had both parents in the household, both active parents. And you see the fruits of that when you look at Donald and who he is today and the work that he's doing. So definitely that's a blessing. You were the only child? Did you live with cousins or you had brothers, sisters?
No, well, we had I am the only child, but we had I've always had cousins on. Our family is extremely tight. They're extremely close. So close that my mother moved next door to my aunt. So all of her children, my cousins, were always in and out of the house. So either I was over there eating breakfast or dinner before school or after school, or they were over at my house eating breakfast or dinner before and after school. So I was the only child, but I never really seemed alone. And most of my stuff wasn't really mine. Although I didn't have the day-to-day issues most siblings have. They were around quite a bit.
Nice. So as I said earlier, like me and Donald, we met at church. So I want you to share like your testimony. How'd you come to know Christ? What was that experience like? Would you like read a book? Did somebody share the gospel with you? Did you grow up in the church where Jesus is always around and you just kind of grew in your relationship with him? What's your testimony, bro?
Mm-hmm. So there's the first time I met Christ, then there's the first time I experienced Christ, right? And then there's the first time that I was used by Christ. So I'm gonna go with those three.
Okay.
The first time I met Christ was a memory that my mother told me, and she said that one day, during the summertime, I was at home. I was watching TV. She was cooking, and she saw me stand up from the couch and go to the television, put my hand on the TV, and close my eyes. And she was like, "What the hell is this?" She ran to the front room. And so I was watching the televangelist, and I started praying. She said she got scared, cut the TV off, and told me not to watch it anymore. So that was the first time I felt like I met God. Because from that moment forward, I feel like there were so many different things in my life that had happened that could have gone so wrong, right? My father had got robbed right when I was next to him. I've got to multiple car accidents as a kid. I've been put in situations near gang members where I could have been beat up with my cousins and everything else, but I felt like God really had his hand on me, and he was protecting me even before I even knew what was going on. And then that was the first time I've ever experienced God. I was in high school. I haven't told too many people because I told my mother and my wife, but it was my freshman year of high school. And, like I said, I wasn't the smartest kid in the school. I wasn't the most athletic, even though I was on the football team. I was well-liked, but nobody really knew me. And I attempted to commit suicide. I was in my kitchen. I had the butcher's knife, and I was going to cut my wrist. And when I put the knife to my wrist, the radio started playing. And it was Kirk Franklin playing. It was I forgot the name of the song, but the radio was unplugged and the Kirk Franklin CD was still in the disc.
Wow.
So that's when I knew. I was like, I better figure something out. And we went to church the next Sunday. And I asked to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And I got baptized in the Holy Spirit. Wow. And so, yeah, it was crazy. And so the next time where I felt like God actually used me was in college. When I had, I was in college and, I had dumped my girlfriend. I was gonna get reckless. Got to campus that first weekend and,
man, he said get right.
I was getting ready to get reckless, man. Mom would say, "You never take sand to a beach, man." I was like, "Cool, say less." That first weekend, I met with some folks who was like, "Hey, man, we finna go party, go hang out this Friday night. So you want to come?" I trusted you. I was like, "Cool, yeah, let's go." Now I went, and it was Bible study. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "It's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and stay." But it was what I needed, and it was interesting because it was then when I started noticing that because I walked a certain way, people started treating me differently and would come to me for certain things and to ask me certain questions, and they trusted my judgment with certain things. And even as a young freshman, they saw that I had wisdom, and they saw that I had that control, and they saw that I had a certain genuine nature about myself that they couldn't find in other peers. And so, that was the first time I felt like I was being used by God to have people secretly come and ask and pray for, have people come and secretly, try to figure out what this whole God thing was without being ostracized by their peers who on a college campus, God is for losers. What you doing going to church? We're supposed to go party. And so I was, especially where I was within the engineering building. I have an engineering degree, and it was like those years were the years of me being, used as a safe space for some people who just didn't know what to do or where to go for that support.
Amen, bro. So yeah, that's definitely, I didn't even, you never shared that with me before. So that's definitely, that's crazy. CD started playing, Kirk Franklin wasn't even plugged in. That's wild.
You're still in the disc, brother.
Man, people hear, a lot of people hear stories like that, especially like American evangelicals, and we got a whole group of people that's like sensationalists, and they don't believe in the gifts of the spirit or anything like that. They believe that they're ceased, and they hear stories like that, and then they won't believe it, and they think like people making stuff up, and it's like, well, what I got to gain from telling you this?
Right.
And I could have came up with a way better story.
For real.
The Kirk Franklin CD played at the radio, and this
Jesus himself came down and said, "No, my son."
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's definitely crazy, man. I mean, I know for myself, I've seen a lot of God moving through my mom. My mom was the person who was always strong in the faith. She made us learn. I don't know about you, but my mom, she made us learn the Bible. She made us learn scripture. It was part of our identity as a family. If you didn't learn scriptures, just as much as you knew your homework and everything else, you had to know the Bible. And so we would get on punishment. She was like, at the end of the week, you better know them verses, and you had to know them, or you weren't going outside. You weren't doing nothing, boy. So Thursday night, Friday night, boy, you be like, John 3:16. That's another word. You be just in the quarter, boy, try to cram, and then she say, "Hey, 7 o'clock come. You got to line up and start quoting them scriptures." You be telling everybody, "Don't say nothing to me. I'm trying to remember." But, was your parents like that? Did they like make you go to church?
No, not at all. So I know that my folks, at least my mother did, her family, they did attend church when they were younger. But when I was younger, like I told you, she wasn't about that life at the time. I think it wasn't until I got into high school, middle school years, high school, when she started to really attend church. And then she got really spiritual, not religious, but spiritual. And she's a powerhouse now. But she never forced it on me. She never, used it as a weapon, against me in terms of, some of the crazy things I've done in my life. We just talked it up to a young age, being a boy.
So you went to college and you got an engineer degree.
Yes.
So how did that
happen? And persistence.
Not how did the degree happen? How did you switch? Why are you not using that degree now?
Man, because so for one, I had a great opportunity to do an internship over a few summers while I was in college at a corporation called I'm not gonna put the name out there, but it was a corporation that helped young black men and women, black and brown men and women, get connected to corporations. They did a fantastic job, man. When I tell you, they helped the brother out so much, it was ridiculous. Like, my interview skills were like non-existent, and they really helped me out. But when I was working in corporate America, I realized, man, like I hated it. I hated working with adults who were only out for themselves. I hated, being in a position where my job, my day-to-day activities were exactly the same. And I didn't. So while my job as an engineer at this corporation was pretty important, I never saw the impact. I never saw, other than receiving a paycheck, I didn't see what the purpose was.
It wasn't fulfilling.
It wasn't, nowhere near. And so when I went to a career fair before I had graduated, I was talking to a Army officer who was explaining, like, I was opening up. You know, it was a young black woman, older black woman who, you know, I felt comfortable, you know, talking about, you know, my experience and my internships and everything, what I was looking for. And she was like, man, sounds like you want to get out of the engineering game, because, like, you know, you can end up working at a place where you have adults who are entitled and act like children. And if that's the case, why don't you actually work in the industry where you're actually working with actual children who you can help be better adults? I was like, you know what? That ain't too bad. But then I kind of shut. I was like, nah, it is what it is. But then when I became a tutor, you know, that word kept coming back. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go ahead and stop pursuing this engineering thing and just go ahead and do what I'm currently doing and actually love. Like,
Interesting. But yeah, I could definitely relate now in my life, because, you know, I was driving trucks before, and God was just constantly like, I'm gonna get you out of this truck. And for a long time I was like, no, like, if you want me to do something else, you want to pull me up out this truck, you're gonna have the other job open, because I ain't applying to no jobs, I'm not seeking after no jobs, I ain't even talking to nobody else about no jobs. So, and God was like, all right, I got you, watch this. And then did a whole thing, and now I'm no longer driving trucks. So but yeah, definitely understand, man, doing something that's fulfilling, doing something that's meaningful, seeing people's lives change by the time and the energy that you put into them and helping them make proper decisions, man, it's almost like nothing like that feeling, you know. And I've only been doing it for a little bit, so in the way that I feel about it, so I can only imagine the stories and the joy that you've learned to experience in your career of being an educator, teacher. Mm-hmm. So you started off at 6th grade, math teacher?
In my professional teaching career?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was, I was always 8th grade. So I started off as an 8th grade math teacher. Yeah. And then I kind of shifted to like 8th and 7th, and then 8th, 7th, and 6th, and then 8th, 7th, and 6th science and math. So by the time it was all said and done, I was all around my school.
Ah, okay. Nice. And so I want to talk to you about your family,
what you smiling about, man? Why you smiling?
I was trying to think of these. What you trying to say? I had to transition into these questions with the marriage, man, because, you know, some of our wives, we gotta tread softly. And so I want to get into how'd you meet your wife, and how was your marriage been? Like, what's your experience with marriage been, man? I think we don't hear enough like positive, successful stories that don't get got like some slander in it. It's like, you think, like, you know, man, they've been married for 10 years, and all of a sudden this dude's in a cheating scandal, and it's like, what happened? It's like, dude, come on, man. Man, you're doing so good. Now,
so good.
Now all we know you was for is the slap, Will Smith. Like, so I want to know for you, because you guys have a successful marriage. You guys have amazing family, beautiful kids, no cheating scandals, at least that I know of, and we're
none whatsoever. Nope.
Pretty close. So,
nope.
You know, our wives talk, and so you guys are
maybe some stupid text messages like, you know, why you sending her smiley face? I like the picture.
Yeah, I ain't got no Instagram, so I don't know about the double tap to, you only could do a heart. I don't even like women's pictures on Facebook, even if I know them. Like, no, I just be like, yeah, okay, nice dress, keep it moving. No likes, nothing.
I'm gonna continue to be stupid. That's what I'm stupid.
So share with us, man, your marriage, man. How'd you meet your wife, man? What'd you guys do?
Oh man, my lovely wife. I met her at a graduation party.
And it was
we were. It was crazy because I had lost a lot of weight. You know, I had just like stopped messing with this chick who was toxic. And man, I was ready. But, you know, so I had tight shirts.
You say you lost a lot of weight, so you was feeling yourself.
I was feeling myself, man. I had a full hairline. You know what I'm saying? Waves were clean.
The
know what I'm saying?
360s?
Food big. Man, brother couldn't tell me nothing. Had tsunamis. You know what I'm saying?
Surfing on that. Ooh.
Horrible, man. Out here wearing tight shirts showing my biceps and triceps, and got my button-up shirts that at the chest part they were pulling apart because my pecs were too big. Killing it. So, you know, I'm at the graduation just being me, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, oddly enough, I'm at this graduation party where it's a whole bunch of folks who have Caribbean blood, and they had, you know, they're in the fitness industry and they have all their fitness friends around. So I'm like, man, I'm taking somebody home with me tonight. That's how I was feeling.
You was on your big
sat
papa.
Down, right, sat down, playing a game of spades, and then Jordan and her friend walked in, and they get themselves a plate, and they just standing around. I'm like, oh, come on now, have my seat. You know, I'm trying to be Mr. Gentleman and whatnot. And we ended up playing spades together. And I can tell you this, if her and her friend would have beat me in spades, I would have never talked to her again in a day of my life.
You a sore loser?
Yes, I am. God is still working on me for that one.
Even to this day, you still a sore loser?
Even to this day.
So you play Xbox with the kids and then you lose and you like, go to bed.
When we playing Monopoly and the kids start winning, I flip the board over.
You roll. We
playing phase 10, I'm losing. Said, oh, we playing 52 card pickup.
That's why we ain't never played spades, huh? Because you was sore loser.
So definitely, like conversation was cool. It was fantastic. You know, she had on a nice dress. And I was too occupied with what was going on and talking to my other friends and just entertaining everybody else. When she left, I didn't get a chance to get her number. You know what I'm saying? And that's quote unquote, I was too scared to talk and ask for a number. So we're just gonna put it that way. So I ended up seeing her on Facebook. I friended her and I just, you know, was like, hey, you know, you want to go out? And so we did. And we went on our first date and it was history. Actually, our first date was a celebration for me actually getting a job as a tutor while I was trying to get a job somewhere else. So it was from there it was history, man. We were inseparable ever since. I do gotta admit I was dating a few other people, when I met her, and the day I decided to go, be exclusive with her, was the day that we had went for a walk on the beach, and she wore these coochie cutter shorts, and I was like, "Yep, she's the one. She's the one. Yep, she's it. I'm done." She's gonna kill me when she hit us.
Hey,
that's it.
Jordan, I didn't tell him to say that. I promise you.
I was like, yeah, okay, this is it. And she ain't never wore them shorts since. She trapped me.
She said, I'm gonna do these one time.
You know what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. But it was crazy because I did not have the finances to do the wedding that I had dreamed of, or to even give her a ring. So I had after about a year or so, I was just talking to her. I was like, I love you a lot, and I know I don't have a lot, but if I were to ask you to marry me today, with no ring or anything else, would you even say yes? She was like, of course I would. And so I got up, I walked around the table, got on my knee, and I asked her to marry me. She was like, I was like, you set
me up. Yeah, that was smooth. Like,
it was.
Turn it back now.
But God did provide for the wedding. I had a nice job to pay for it, and the reception. Somebody taught me well that all the money we got for the wedding, like the gifts and stuff, we use that to pay for the reception. So it was all good. It was all good. Yeah, but yeah, man, our marriage has been good. I think the key for us has been communication. and it's not easy, nowhere near easy. Especially for me, I'm not the best communicator, or at least I wasn't the best communicator. And she really had to teach me how to talk things out, or to be as detailed as possible with when I'm explaining things. And
women love details, and us men, we just be like, I went up the street. She was like, you went up the street. What car did you take? What houses did you see? Who was out there? Was a fire hydrant on the left side or the right side? Like, they want details. You be like
the one TikTok or that one joke the guy told that's on TikTok, where he's like, I just got a text that Bob got into a car accident. She goes, oh my God, is that right? I don't know. I just got a text that Bob's in a car accident. He said, oh, were the kids in there? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that Bob's in a car accident. So what do you know?
That's why
I know that Bob got into a car accident.
I don't tell my wife nothing until I got some type of details where we can at least talk about it for 10 minutes. Because if I just say one little thing, she be like, okay. And then she like really sets up to him like, hey, I got to tell you something when I get home. When I get home, she's like, what happened? I'm like, no, my job is throwing this picnic on Saturday. I just letting you know to you and the kids to come.
You can tell on text here. You could have said that over text. You got me thinking you got some juicy stories.
I'm
like she'll be like, how was your day? I'm like, cool.
It was cool.
Like, what you do? It was good.
It was all right. Just chill. I ain't do nothing. Wasn't nothing fancy. But like, man, that was a big thing with me when I was driving trucks, because I ain't had a lot to talk about. Like, yeah, I was on I-55. I drove past some cornfields. Right. I stopped. I
saw a green sign.
Yeah, I stopped at the Amazon warehouse. Got checked in by some dude, and then like, it's my day is real. It's nothing. It's not exciting. And I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing to talk about. What was your day like? Tell me what every kid did. Man, like 8 hours later.
Right.
Man, you did a lot. It was a lot of things that happened. But yeah, man, those little things like communication, man, it really it's just a never-ending cycle of learning how to communicate, because seasons of people's lives, things change. So love languages change, and you be like, oh, you ain't tell me your love language now is gifts. I thought it was quality time, and I'm still trying to spend quality time, but now you want a dozen roses every week. It's like, what are you talking about? So definitely, man. I've
learned that every time my wife is pregnant, her love language is acts of service. She wants me to clean the house.
Man, I'm gonna share a funny story when we were staying with y'all. And it was the most scariest moment of my life.
It was when she was first pregnant, right?
It was when she was first pregnant, right? So we was living with the Owenses. This is what everybody know y'all as. Whenever I introduce y'all to anybody, you my god brother, and y'all are the Owenses. So that's how I introduce y'all. But anyway, the Owens, we was staying with them, me and my family, and I forgot how many kids we had at the time. I think it was 3.
17.
I think we only had the girls at that time. I think it was only the girls.
Yeah.
And Lily used to have these like night terrors where she would wake up, she would scream and just act all crazy. And it's like, I think she still does that, like to this day. If you bump her, she falls, she be like, ah, like stop the scream. You ain't hurt. But anyway, we was staying with them, and Jordan was pregnant, and we was trying to keep the kids as quiet as possible. She couldn't take no smell, and definitely didn't want to interrupt her sleep.
No chicken.
You couldn't do nothing.
I'm a black man living in the house, can't eat chicken.
Joe, like, we get food, you eat it in the car. Don't bring that in the house. Like, eat in the car. And so this particular night, man, Lily was just going through a thing, and I think, man, I can't remember. Did she come out and call us?
Probably.
I can't remember. But all I know is when I walked out of the room and see her with that towel on her head, and you was standing behind her like, she was like, I am trying to sleep. I was just like, I'm sorry.
It was funny because we didn't understand that because we didn't have kids.
Yeah.
And now that we do, we understand that. It's just because now we wake up, we go, who finna go now? who's going now?
It's so different, man. Like people who don't have kids, or like I had a conversation with a dude yesterday, and he couldn't understand when I told him, like, look, man, like my time is limited because I got my family. And he was just like, man, it's just gonna be like 2 hours, like. And I was like, you don't understand. Yeah, you don't understand what 2 hours, what can happen. You got 5 kids in 2 hours, and you supposed to be at home. Like you just him and his wife, and I think their son are older or moved out or something. I'm like, you don't understand, bro. Like,
they only have 1 kid.
Yeah, like you don't understand. Like fights break out, people break glasses. It's a mess. It's crazy. And so I was like, yeah, no, I got to be home, dude. Like, no. My office, I like to do from 5 heartbeats. My office hours are from 9 to 5. That's how you get it. But yeah, man, those was some days, man. But now I got 5. Woo, what's that like? What's it like being a father of 5?
Wait, you know what's funny? I had what was it? Sunday? Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. We came home, we were chilling. And I had like the huge, like this migraine that I couldn't shake. So I'm sitting on the couch, just chilling. I'll fall asleep. Everybody's in the living room. Donald's playing a game. Angel's running around. Coco's trying to draw some stuff. Brianna's trying to get ready, her clothes and stuff ready to go to work the next day. And I wake up from my dreams. I go, oh, Lord Jesus, fuck you. And everybody stopped and looked at me like, you okay? I was like, what happened? Joe was like, you just woke up in a cold sweat talking about Lord Jesus, 5 kids. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember doing that. So apparently it is taking its toll on my subconscious. I'm okay. I feel great. I feel cool. I always wanted a big family, but my subconscious is probably like, no, no. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. Kids, man. They're so. You ever wonder, like, man, you think they all gonna be like the same? Or at least very similar in their personality, then they all different.
They're all different. All different.
All different.
Mm-hmm.
All different. Do you got to parent all of them different?
Yeah.
Like for me, I gotta remember who I'm parenting. I'm like, all right, hold up, this is Maya. So I gotta go take Maya. We gotta go on a drive, and I gotta have a deep conversation with her, talk to her in soft tones, and get her to like answer the questions that I ask her, so she can really, get whatever it is that we're talking about. TJ, yeah, TJ, I can just like, I could be stern with her. I can be like, hey, stop, and I can just be stern with her, and she gets it. She might cry a little bit, but she's cool. Dorian, oh my goodness, Dorian and Lily, this is probably the same way, but them two, I have to like, it's like pulling teeth to get them to respond. So I'm like, hey, why'd you do that? Speak. Did the eyes start getting watery because they don't blink? They just look at you.
Yeah,
I'm just like, why'd you do that? Nothing. I'm just, man, go to bed. Because if I keep talking to you, I will really want to hurt you. And then we got Dash that he can't do no wrong right now. Except for these, he's dealing with some stomach stuff right now, so he's just dropping deuces all day. It's just watery diarrhea, and I'm just like, bruh, come on, like. So, but he can't do no wrong. He's so just. He does this thing now where he can manipulate you, and he's like, you will get on him, right? And you're like, hey, why you do that and this, that, and he'd be like, I need you. And then he wants you to pick him up. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Can't give you no whooping after, came over here. That was you need me and reaching for me. Oh man, but kids. You said something earlier something about being a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this stand-up comedian, because when you told me that you was thinking about being a stand-up comedian, I was like, this fool done lost his mind.
That's what everybody said. It was like, what?
I was like, he really gonna? He ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. Then you told me like, I got a show. I'm like, this fool ain't got no show. And then you really had a show, and it was really good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I was like, this dude really funny. I was like, my man said he had a bucket list. Being a stand-up comedian is one of them that he wanted to try. And you did a really good job, man. So I definitely want to take my hat off to you for that, man. I was really, like, I wasn't just laughing to laugh. I told Adam, the who came with me, I was like, if he bad, I'm still just going to laugh just to laugh. I'm going to be laughing. Just to support. Can't let him go out like that. So if the room is kind of quiet, I'm going to be the loudest person. I was going to be one of them, but you was actually really funny. What was that experience like, man? And what did that urge to be a stand-up comedian come from?
Man, this is my small mini steps towards getting a role on SVU, Law and Order. That's the ultimate goal right there, to get on Law and Order SVU.
They gonna film you as the teacher and the kid dad in your class.
Right.
Or the principal of the school, and we gotta investigate your school for this murder.
It's cool. Anything. I know I can't be no crackhead. I'm too big. So, but yeah, man. I think ever since I seen the I think when I was I was a latchkey kid. So back in elementary school, my parents would go off to work. I had a whole house to myself. As long as I don't open up the door, I'm good. And so we had HBO and Showtime and all that other stuff, and I would always catch these comedy specials. You know, you had Eddie Murphy, Sinbad, Bill Cosby, Chris Rock, and so I would watch all of those shows like every time they would come on. And I just fell in love with comedy, man. I was always drawn to like comedy specials and comedy shows, and Living Color. Man, loved In Living Color. But then, you know, when it comes to like the comedy style, once I got into the class, and then I realized, you know, why I like my specific comedy genre so much is because I personally love telling stories. And I personally love, like, you know, finding the humor out of things that happen to me on a daily basis. Man, if you go on my Facebook stream, you know, I'm always telling stories about what happened to me. And so one of my a mentor that I look at on Facebook, who oddly enough is actually connected to my mother through churches. You know, I realized that he took a lot of the stories that he was telling on Facebook, and he just started using it in his comedy reel. And I was like, man, like, not to say that it's easy, but like I could do the exact same thing. So why not? Like, it's on my bucket list. You know, it's not ridiculous. I mean, it's not like I don't know how to speak in front of people, but they're just trying to see where it goes. And I really enjoyed it. And it was funny because I was only supposed to do 7 minutes, and I ended up doing like 14, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I recorded the whole thing. I didn't know if I was supposed to.
It's cool.
I recorded it. I had to show my wife. I was like, I got to show her. Like, I can't just tell her. I'm a
You can't come out the house and comedy story.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna record this. I don't know if I was supposed to, but yeah, I go. But nah, man, it was really, really good, dude. You were really funny. Like, funnier than I thought you were gonna be. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have low expectations, but I ain't set the bar too high. I was just like, long as he do his thing and he get some chuckles, we good. And let's just get some chuckles and then we good. But I mean, y'all was deep. Like, think y'all had like 2 tables of family members. I was like, so
man, it was deep.
He knew what he was doing. He's like, hey, look, y'all better come and laugh for us. But nah, man, it was really good. You were comfortable. I mean, besides the sweat, you was comfortable up there.
Man, bro, like that. My wife picked out that outfit for me too, man. It was the thickest flannel shirt I have in my closet. She was like, "Oh, you look." She said, "Oh, you look sexy." I was like, "Yeah, baby, I'm going to wear this." Out there looking like you look like you were straight out of Compton, bro.
Man. I was like,
I'm at Comic-Con trying to be Debo.
I was like, is it thick, or is he just hot, or is he nervous?
Man, it was all of it. It was all of it. That's what I got up there like, I get some water, please. But yeah, I definitely gotta rethink my attire the next time. And I didn't realize that light was gonna be so close. I mean, that was the first time I was in an establishment, so I didn't even know what to think what the stage was gonna be like and everything else. But yeah, man, it was definitely a dream come true. Definitely looking to have more experiences, and just to try new things. I think the one thing for me is when I start experimenting more, and if I don't get the laughs like I want, will I still do it? Will I still keep going? Hopefully I will. And I think it's gonna be it will be a good outlet for all the things that I experience on a day-to-day basis.
So you got more shows in the works?
I'm talking to somebody right now who has a show happening mid-August. So hopefully he'll put me on. And right now I'm not even looking to get paid. I'm just looking for experience. Just looking to get out there and just do my thing. But yeah.
So how does one prepare for a stand-up comedy show?
Mm-hmm. Well, one, I think you should probably like find a course, and in the down below, I'll have some information for you to check out the Clean Comedy Show course that I went through.
So you took a course.
I took a course. Yeah, I took a course. Okay.
You didn't just like, I'm gonna practice these jokes and the people laugh, I'm gonna do it?
No. So the promoter is my cousin who actually wrote a comedy course. And it's, it goes into the history of comedy. It goes into, what the genre of comedy is and, kind of what to stay away from and how to kind of maneuver the jokes and kind of how to develop it. And knowing what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. But it's all about the delivery. It's all about the delivery and knowing, pretty much how to shock and awe. Shocking and awing your audience. And knowing your audience. So
nice.
Yeah.
So as we get ready to wrap up, man, I want you to tell us about what you think, or what do you feel like the main issues are here for our city in Chicago, and what are some of the things that need to happen? What are some of the solutions that need to be put in place for us to get? I mean, we got different type of issues, so whatever issues you want to touch on, whatever you want to talk about, I'm gonna let you have the floor.
Man, I think that we have an issue with not having safe spaces for our young men and women to express and explore themselves. And when there aren't responsible adults who are willing to take up that mantle to create those safe spaces, they create it themselves. And when that's done, there's no accountability, there's no guidance, and they tend to just do what they feel is right as long as they feel okay about it. And to be blunt, we need more rational and responsible adults to take responsibility for just this generation. And I understand that you didn't birth these kids. I understand that you had no say in how they came into the world. But right now, we need to go back to it taking a village to raise our youth, because we have some adults who are really dropping the ball, and then we have other adults who can pick it back up, but they keep saying it's not their problem. So that's the thing I'm looking at. Like, if we want, and I'm just, I gotta speak for my community. There's too many skeletons in the closet, and there's not enough people who are willing to call it out and to do the work to do the healing, as opposed to just wanting to sweep things up under the rug and call it a day.
Amen. You're so right, man. This is exactly, I was talking to a gentleman last week, and we were talking about this, and he said some very similar things to what you just said. But he also said that when we look at the generations of the kids, and then we say, man, how do we get here? Then we look at the parents, right? And it's not, obviously it's not every parent, but we look at overall and it says, yo, we failed our youth. Gun violence, carjackings, just teen pregnancy, just all these things. Parenting starts in the home. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many different balls that were dropped in different areas. And now we're seeing the fruits of it. Now we're seeing the fruits of it. And now we're trying to scatter. We're trying to run around and we're like, well, let's do this. And let's do this. And let's do this. And yeah, if we don't acknowledge what happened in the past and know how we got here, we're going to continue to run in the same circle.
Because we're not focusing on pulling out that root cause.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my last question for you, man, is where does the gospel fit in to all of these things that you have going on in your life? And share with us what you got planned for the future.
Oh man, at the end of the day, he's a life source, man. And it's you realize that when you get thick-headed and you think like you're doing things on your own and you're making moves on your own, that you get tired, you get drained, things don't go the way that you expect or plan, or things that were promised to you aren't happening, doors aren't opening, and you realize that, for me, I realized that I felt like I was drowning because I didn't have what I needed. I wasn't connected to a power source. I wasn't connected to the drive that got me to where I was supposed to be. And, I'm realizing now that no matter what level of education I receive or what level of my career I go at, I can't do that next level unless I'm connected to the power and the source that got me to where I was in the first place. And, I can choose to accept a job here or there, but if I'm not doing it in the right timing, if I'm not doing it in the right mindset, then I'm just causing more trauma and stress for myself that God never intended for me to have. And so, just knowing that I have to do everything with Him in mind. I have to do everything with consulting God and consulting, the Spirit when I'm making these decisions and when I'm coming to a crossroad for myself, my wife, and my children, because my life is not my own right now. Like, granted, I have a responsibility to so many students in this community, but to my family, everything I do right now is going to affect my kids' children, my grandchildren's children. So I got to make sure I'm making these right choices and right decisions.
Amen, bro. Amen. What you got going on, man? What's the future plans for Donald Owens Jr.?
Vacationing, man. My wife and I decided to just take this next year to really actively do vacations with my children and ourselves. Sometimes some quiet times, just mommy and daddy getting out. Because I think that's one thing in the past 5 years that we've lost. We've lost the ability to enjoy ourselves and to enjoy life. Yeah. Because so many things have been happening, you know, having children, pandemic, everything else. We just gotta live life, man. We gotta enjoy what God has given us and stop wasting precious time thinking that, you know, we're gonna have when next year comes, our kids are 1 year older, and we've realized that, man, 1 year, a 1 year difference with our kids is huge. It's huge. So just trying to figure, so right now, for me, it's when am I going to get out there and teach my kids how to ride the bike? When am I going to get out there and start throwing the ball with Donald? You know, it's just, for us, I know a lot of things are happening, and I can't say, and I don't know what's going to happen, you know, what God's going to do for us. But I do know that this Saturday, I should probably be throwing the ball with my son. And I should be, you know, teaching my daughter how to change a tire. It's just, you know, all these other crazy things that, you know, we take for granted because, you know, life has gotten so hectic and crazy.
Yeah. So it's the little moments that count, man. Little thing, spending a little time. Dorian is now into basketball heavy. He want to be Steph Curry, bro. And I was like, what? He be watching, Daddy, come watch this YouTube video of Steph Curry. And I'm like, who told you how to spell his name? Like, it's just like he wants to just go play basketball every day. And so it's been a blessing of this year just being able to take them to work with me. Like, I ain't gotta ask nobody. I can just take them to the office. Come on, let's go. You want to go? No. He woke up this morning. He said, Daddy, where you going? I said, I want to work. He's like, can I come? You try to get the jump on it before the girls. Like, I'm going with it. Y'all gotta stay up. But I mean, it's just such a blessing, man, to be able just to those small little things. Them being able to see us work, them being able to see us provide. I think that's a lost art form, man. Like, you think about dudes in the Bible days, like, they was literally building houses for their families, you know, and they had their kids with them. Everything that they was doing, their kids was with them. It was a family affair with everything. And we kind of lost that, man. So definitely, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time, bro. We got to do this again. Y'all got to have me on y'all podcast, man. Let people know again what's the name of those podcasts and where can they find them?
It's I Still Do, the Godly Man Perspective. You can actually find us on I forget all these podcast things, right? Spotify, Apple Music, what else?
iHeart, all things podcast. We everywhere, baby.
All things podcast, and yeah, most definitely. Actually, we have a book coming out too. So all the stuff that we talked about, we're gonna, you know, compile it and you know, go ahead and get a book out.
You and the wife together?
No, my cousins and I.
Oh,
my cousins. Yeah. Oh, so my wife, she doesn't want anything to do with anything embarrassing her.
Tell Jordan she got to get out of that, man. We need them stories, man. We need them stories.
Oh man.
Well, man, bro, thank you again, man, for your time, bro. I love you, man, and you already know whenever you need me, I'm here, and we'll be in touch. We'll talk. We'll hang out real soon.
For sure.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right. Peace.